This is Glenn Pridgeon with 730club.com. This video podcast relates to MusiCares, which is one of the charities under, or one of the charities of the Recording Academy, NARIS, Grammys.com, the Grammys. And I've been writing a blog about MusiCares, and I've written it and I've rewritten it and I've unwritten it to the point, I just don't think that in written form that I can get across, my experiences. I've had two specific experiences with MusiCares. So I figured maybe I'd just talk about it instead. So my experience with NARIS, just from the beginning, is I'm kind of a Johnny-come-lately with NARIS, which I've talked about in a previous podcast. And after being in the music business since I was 15, I only joined about a year and a half ago. And right after I joined, Michelle Kaplinger and I went to lunch. She is the senior executive here for the Atlanta chapter. And she talked to me about MusiCares. And, it was informative, and, I was glad to know about it. I didn't feel like I would need it. I had health insurance. I still have health insurance. And personally, I didn't think I was going to need it very much. So I filed it away. About a week and a half later, I get a call from one of my buddies' wives, one of my best friends. Wife calls. He's on a tour with a major band, major act, and major tour, and he left the tour, abruptly quit, and disappeared. His wife was about a month away from her due date, and just a terrible situation for her personally, and this went on for about a week. Couldn't find him. Finally, on a Saturday, me and a couple buddies and his wife went up to Augusta, and we found him about 4 in the morning in the lobby of a hotel. And he was in a terrible state, terrible condition. It's a wonder he had lasted that long in the state that he was in, much less the place that he was in. Just that terrible situation, and that conversation with Michelle popped into my head. MusiCares, as his wife is crying, just an emotional for her. It was, we're having a baby. My husband is, there's no shape to be a father. No shape at all. It was terrible. It was gut wrenching. But the conversation with Michelle popped into my head, and I got my laptop out, and 4:30 in the morning, got in touch with someone from MusiCares. Call a number on the website, a healthcare professional. I was quickly put in touch with someone who could help us in this rather abrupt intervention that we were about to take on. Very helpful. The other thing that was helpful was we were able to get clearance, and we were able to, through some phone calls, get into an ER and get into a emergency room. And after that, working throughout the day with this wonderful organization, we were able to find a rehab center and get him the help that he needed. And MusiCares provided, personal assistance and support to the group and to my buddy and his wife, and financial assistance, personal assistance, a real support network overall, end to end, through the whole process, from finding him and performing a quick intervention, and actually a fairly traumatic intervention, to getting to an ER, to getting into drug treatment, to now, a year later, getting, or over a year now, getting support. There's a program where musicians and music people in recovery become part of a network and volunteer to become mentors for other people having, going through this exact issue. He was put together with them, and when he's on the road now, he's been sober now for a year. He got, like I said, all the assistance from beginning to end from MusiCares. There's he played in LA recently. There was a safe house tent. So there's even places in specific locations where musicians can go and be away from the pressures of, you know, alcohol, and be in a safe house, what they call. I think this one was a tent that he was in. If you're gonna run an organization that's supposed to help people, this is how you run it. I mean, you can't do it any better. So what is MusiCares? MusiCares is an organization that saves lives. I'm going to count my buddy as life one that I know of. And it's not hard to go on the internet and find many, many more.